being a father could be, exciting. It could be, you could have ups and downs. It could be challenging, but just remember that you have children that's looking up to you, looking up to you for for guidance,
Right.
looking up to you, to help them get through life and learn different things in life, and how to ride a bike, how to tie my shoes. Daddy, I like this girl, and how should I approach him? Dad, I need some advice on this and that. Fatherhood can be challenging, but there's nothing in this world that would stop me from being a father to my kids.
Mm.
And I will say to them that um, I will, you guys should do the same thing. Um, look forward to being the best dad you could be.
Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome to the Dear Dad podcast. This is the place where we address dad dynamics and discuss personal experiences, stories, and poem submissions to help provide a platform for healing while simultaneously uplifting one another. Let's change the dad narrative all around. Let's go. Let's grow.
Hello, you beautiful people. Thank you again for joining me at Dear Dad podcast. Oh man, today I'm actually excited. I'm excited because I actually have my cousin on here, and I'm going to say that frequently because mostly my family is on there. His name is Martin Darius. Now, Martin, I know you've heard this name before on the podcast from Maxine, from Jonathan, and from Michael. I mentioned those names because those were the brothers, all right? So those were the brothers that I interviewed, but Martin is the older brother, actually. And again, Martin, Michael, Maxine, and Jonathan, my father and their father were siblings. So we were full-blooded cousins, not half, but full-blooded cousins. So I'm definitely excited about that. I'm happy because he's the oldest out of the few. He's the oldest out of the four. And I'm excited to hear his part about it because when I had my older brother P on the line interviewing, he was able to give me more details than I can imagine, because now you're talking about from the older brother point of view, expressing how he felt about the entire thing. But again, I just want to introduce you guys to Martin Darius. What's up, Martin?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, people? How you guys doing?
Good. All right, so let's just jump to the first question. First question.
Cool.
Tell us, who is Martin?
I'm a nice, easygoing person. I'm a family man, a hard worker, and I'm a person that has a lot of morals and beliefs.
Awesome. Cool. Absolutely, really cool. First core question. So tell me about your dad.
Oh, my dad, Max Darius. My father, first of all, he was a great man. I have nothing bad to say about my father, but unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago. But before we get into that, my father was also the oldest of many. That my grandfather had a bunch of kids, 13. About, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 13. My father also was a twin. His twin name was Mott. She passed away in her 20s. Then you had your father, and this is the immediate siblings. But to sum it down, my father is a person that wherever he is or wherever he goes, or he will always leave his mark. You will know who my father is. Everybody know my father, Max Darius. He was a clown. He was a person that enjoyed family company. He was also a person that that would do anything for the family too. He would go to extra length. And there's a like I said, I'm the oldest of four. There's things that each of us gets from my father.
Yes.
Yeah, but like I said, some of all, my father was a good person.
Okay, cool. Because I've heard a couple of different ideas of who your father is, and from listening to your brothers, and even with you right now, you were just mentioning that he was a family guy. He loves his family. He loves his nephews and niece. He loved his family. But the dynamics within the household was a little bit different, and that's where my father and your father is riding the same journey. Where I didn't know a lot of what went on with your dad, what went on in your household, and I don't think you knew exactly what was going on in my household as well. Can you share with me what what kind of memories do you have of your dad?
Well, I mean, like I said before, well, one good memory about him is he was a funny person. He was a loving father. He was a caring father, and my father liked taking vacations. That's one big thing that I took from my father too. He likes going on vacation. He likes to go different places, experience different things. And me as a father, for my kids to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that one major thing I got from my father too. I remember when I was younger. I don't quite remember the age. I don't know if it was 5 or 6 years old. I went to Haiti, and he was there for a couple of years. And I remember at that age, when we was driving him to the airport. I remember when he was walking to the terminal, and then I remember when I told him bye. And even as a child, I knew that he was going somewhere, and I wanted to go with him, but I couldn't go with him, and that hurt. That hurt, and now I was crying. And then he's been out there. He was out there for a couple of years. I don't remember how many years to be exact. I don't know if it was 10 years, if it was 8 years. I don't know if it was less. It's probably like 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But he was gone for a long time, and throughout those years, I would always think about him. And I would always think, like, what is he doing? At that age, you have quite of an imagination. He was out in a safari, like he's like I would picture Haiti as Africa, and he's out in the wild, like hunting lions or something like that. Or some type of hero or something. He was doing something heroic. And I used to, it was to the point that when I was in class, teachers would tell mom that I'm always daydreaming. So my mom had to, tell me, "Oh, listen, you gotta stop doing that. You gotta pay attention in class," and blah 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 blah. But I didn't tell her what I was thinking about. I couldn't tell her that. Especially at that age, but majority of the time when I was daydreaming, I was thinking about him and what is he doing. A couple years passed in the 90s. I don't remember what year it was. I believe it was in 1992 or 91. At my because we used to go to my grandfather's house, and we stood in Manhattan. We always go there like every other weekend. My grandfather would pick us up, and then, we used to have a time of our life because we was there with our uncles and aunts, and we used to do play games and have fun, etc., etc. But one day we went over there, and then they told me that my father was coming, and I was so excited. I said, "What? Yes, that's because you don't think he's gonna as a kid, you don't know if he's gonna come back or anything like that."
Right.
And then I remember that Mr. Green, we call him Poppy, he picked up my father from the airport and brought him to my grandfather's, and fell open. And then I saw my father's face. It was like a dream. I was, it was like surreal. I was like, "Oh snap! That's really him!"
Wow!
So excited!
Wow!
Jumped on him like I was a baby. You know what I'm saying? I was like, "My father's here. Wow. My father's in Marks. My father's here." And that was his return. So that tells you how much of an effect he had on me as a child. Like I said, I was his road dog, I should say.
Right.
I would always go with him out, drive with him, go different places, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, that's one great memory I remember about.
Can you explain the relationship between you and your dad? How was that like?
Listen, nobody's relationship is perfect. You're gonna have your ups and downs, and most certainly you could learn from the downs as well as the ups. But we had a close relationship. Honestly, growing up as a younger child, I would be the one out of all four of us that was always going out with my father. So we was close. Every time he was going to a relative house, or he's doing this, he's doing that. Like, 'cause I'm the firstborn, so
Mm.
we was close. He would take me out, and eventually others will follow. But I will be with him mostly throughout that time.
Wow. Majority of your siblings said that your father was one to, like you said, to go on trips and go to the beach and stuff like that, and go to journeys, go to Six Flags, all the stuff that he enjoyed doing. He loved taking trips. He
Yep.
loved contributing to the family as far as going out on trips. Do you find that is something that you share as well?
Oh, definitely. Um, I believe in, like I said, first of all, I'm married, 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
Malachi, who just turned 14, by the way, May 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Happy belated birthday. Kellen, whose birthday is coming up on July 6th, she's gonna turn 13, and the youngest, London, who turned 10 in January. And my thing is, and me and my wife's name is Kelly, so I'm just gonna say Kelly. We share the same values, the same thought process, and
Mm-hmm.
one of that is, I want our kids to have a good experience growing up. Get different
Right.
experiences in life. Go visit, different cultures, go different places, have fun, learn things, by taking trips. As a matter of fact, last year, we've been in Mexico for the first time, and
Nice.
yeah, it was Rivera Maya, and what we stayed at was beautiful. Um, the kids had a blast. Um, we went to a couple of shows, which taught them about the Mexican culture.
Mm.
Um, Prior to that, we went to Jamaica as a family. We've been to Florida. Um, we've been to South Carolina with Myrtle Beach. But like I said, I want them to have the experience, and what I want them to take from that is, I want, when they get older, I want them to continue that tradition with their family.
So, just back up a little before I could continue. I know I asked you as far as about your dad, but I just want to find out: do you have any particular memories of your dad, good or bad?
My father was very protective, even though my father was a small person with a big head. He was a small person with a big head, but he had a heart of a giant, a heart of a lion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So anybody that would mess with us, yeah, we grew up in a tough neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Our building was tough. You had a whole bunch of knuckleheads in our building. So anybody that would try to mess with us and anything, he would go out his way and step in to make sure that nothing happened. That he's making sure he's protecting us.
Mm.
Right before my father passed away, he was getting real sick.
Right.
He was doing cab driving, but it was to the point that where his kidneys started to fail and he needed to do dialysis. So with that being said, he couldn't work no more, and me seeing who my father was, automatically, and kudos, automatically I know that as a older sibling that I had to step up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to put everybody else first, before me, and I had to make sure that everybody was good.
So what I know with my older brother P, he was stating that in the previous podcast that as he was growing up, I think it was the age of 16 or so, maybe younger, because my father was not in the picture. He wasn't doing his job as a father, so to speak. He felt that he had to play the father role in an older brother role as well.
Mm-hmm.
And for him, that had an effect on him because now he didn't know how to be a father because he's never been a father before. But yet he also wants to protect us. That's all he can do. So it was hard for him to just like say, I want to be a father figure for you. But it's hard for him to emulate that and show that because he's never been a dad before. Did that dynamic affect you as well? Because then you had to step into the role and actually, either be that older brother because you had to either sacrifice certain things or not.
Honestly, growing up, I was always the older brother, so I always try to look out for my younger brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that mentality. And, like I said, I get that from my father, but I also get that. I know it's not a mom podcast, but I'm going to pick it up anyway. I got that from my mom too as well. So when you know when it got tough, um, I knew, automatically, you know what, I got to step up, because I had to look out, for my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta look out for my family. I gotta look out for my mom, because, like I said, my father's not gonna be able to do it. So I sacrificed a lot, and I did what I had to do, to make sure that these guys were good, including
Mm-hmm.
myself. Like I said, around that time, I had my two children, Malachi and Kellen. I was with Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Michael had his two kids. Jonathan was here, and Maxine. But like I said, I had to step up and make sure that these guys were good. I had to put them first, before myself, which honestly worked out in the long run, because look at us now.
Right. That's really, really cool. I'm going to ask the question, and again, it's up to you to answer the question if you want to. How did your dad's death affect you?
Oh, let me tell you something about that, bro. You do not know what anybody goes through when they lose somebody until you experience it yourself.
Right.
And when I tell you it was an experience, it was a slap in the face, because you always hear about somebody else dying, or you don't ever think it's gonna happen to you. And at that moment, I was praying and hoping that it didn't happen to my father. I didn't want to go through this, and et cetera, et cetera. And when it did happen, it was just like part of my world just got crushed. I'm a different person. I'm thinking different. It took me a while. It took me a couple of years. I'm not saying I'm not used to him not being here, but it took me years to get adjusted to it. There was times, especially when he just passed away, I'll be, especially when you're driving. If you're driving for a little while, you think all types of things. So there's times I'm driving, and he'll just pop in my mind, and I just start crying. And that happened.
Right.
That happens to me like the first 3 years of his death.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
There was a time with my brother Daryl. It's my best friend, but I'll call him my brother. And it's like God told him to call me at the right time. There was a time I was in the house, and I just finished crying. And then Daryl called me, and he's like, "Your mom was good, blah blah blah. When I come for the weekend, or whatever." And I'm like, and then he heard it in my voice. He said, "Mom, you good, man?" I said, "Nah, I was just thinking about my father." And then he was like, he gave me some words of encouragement. He said, "Don't worry, man. I'm there." And that made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? That made me feel good. But one thing that I kept doing is kept myself busy, kept myself active, so I don't have time to sit there and mope and think about his death. Like I said, when he passed away, it was a slap in the face. It was a reality check. And you won't know how it feels until you lose somebody that's real close to you like that.
Wow. No, I 100% agree.
Yep.
And I said it before. I don't know the depths of it. I can't try to begin to say I understand it, because you lived through it. I just knew about it. Even if he was my uncle, it was more of a distant thing, because I know he's my uncle, but he's your father. I mean, you live with them. You grew up with them. You had a experience with them. So this is a closer connection. So for me to say, "Oh, I understand," I can only say that in surface wise. But like you said, until I experienced that, which I don't encourage to anybody, you won't know the depths of it. You don't know the degree of the suffering or hurt that you go through, because death is a traumatic experience.
Right.
I know with your dad, I don't know, you said that there's, growing up with him, there is a lot of like similar things that you would say that you do yourself, or in a short notes, do you have any characteristics in you that you say you got from your dad, and do you see it in your kids as well?
We all got a couple of something from my father. Well, I could say that, one thing about my father, he loves family. I'm the same way. I love being around family. Um, I don't mind it. So yeah, one character I got from is being family oriented. My father is a nice, easygoing person. To get along with everybody. He's funny, but at the same time too, he's not afraid to let you know about yourself. He's not afraid to put you in your place. And that's something that I think, no, not that I think, but I know that I got from him. I'll be cool, laugh at you and everything, but once you cross that line, that's when you see the other side of me, which brings you back to reality. Like, hey, hold on now, take it easy. Let's bring it back a couple of notches. Now, as far as my kids, especially my older son. First of all, my older son looks like my father.
Mm-hmm.
My older son Malachi, he looks like my father. He have his eyes, and he kind of have his nose. He's the same way too. He love his cousins. And my father was a person. Honestly, he was a person that could get along with anybody.
That's true.
He could make friends and talk to anybody, and that's one characteristic that Malachi has from my father, I should say. He could make friends with anyone, everybody. He's very popular in school. Everybody knows him, and he makes friends easily.
That's cool. That's that's different. I wouldn't say I'm exactly like I've learned to be like that, but I wasn't always like that. I was more of like a withdrawn, shy kid. But I mean, your father was definitely had a magnetic personality that you can, whenever you were around him, you can guarantee that you would laugh. You can guarantee that you would have a good time because he made you feel comfortable. He made you feel happy whenever he was around. And he was a jokester. So, when he was around him, you definitely was going to laugh.
Yep. Another thing about my father too is that every time he talked with an accent. So we used to always make fun of him.
That's true. That's true. Very, very good thoughts about him.
Yeah.
So last question about the dad, and then we're going to move into fatherhood for you. Just to wrap up with your dad, if your dad was here right now in front of you, or you had a chance to tell him something, what would it be?
I would tell him I love you. I would tell him, I love you. Thanks for everything you've done for me. You I'm always gonna remember that. Yeah, that's what I would tell him. I'll tell him I love you.
Awesome. All right, so let's change the dynamic. Let's change the mood a little bit. All right, let's talk about fatherhood. All right, let's talk about fatherhood. So tell me about your experience in fatherhood.
Well, honestly, once first of all, there's all types of fathers out there. But if there's fathers that's deadbeat fathers, and there's fathers that cares, and I will try to do anything for the kids. I have to be one of those fathers. Once you had kids, once I had kids, everything became about them.
Right.
You put them first more than anything else. You want to make sure that they're good. You want to make sure that they have food to eat, clothes on their back. You want to make sure they're going to the right school. They're doing the right things, making the right decisions. They're growing up right. Like I said, when you have a kid, when you have a child, everything changes in life.
And you have to change. If you have a child, if you start having kids and you don't change who you are, or it doesn't change you, I think it might be a problem.
It's gonna be a problem.
I mean, I used to say that. I used to say that about marriage too. You have to actually adapt. You have to change. You can't be the same person that you were since you was high school and college, and now you bring in that same person into like a relationship. You can't be that same person that you were. Now you're a father. A father is a whole different chapter in your life. To be a dad to someone is a whole different chapter in your life. So you can't just be that same. I'm gonna do all this hoopla, running around and do whatever that you need to do because it's all about you. If you think in that way, fatherhood, being a dad is not for you, or you're not ready for it. Honestly, you can say that because mentally, for me, I was already there. I would say I wanted to be a dad. I wanted to make a difference in somebody's life. I wanted to show that Even though I didn't have the best upbringing, I want to be able to have a child so they can have the best upbringing, so they can have something better than I had. So if you're not changing when you have a dad, if you didn't mentally change who you are when you became a dad, I think you have a longer journey ahead of you than you expected.
Right. You're definitely right about that. But it's not saying, you know, some people that, that just, everybody has a choice,
Right.
And so you gotta choose to do the right thing, or you could choose to go, do the opposite.
Right.
I'm very involved with my kids, and activities and anything they do. I try to give them, support 100% as long as it's right. And, I want them to grow up with the mentality with, like my parents did everything that they could for me, but
Right.
I want to do better than my parents did. I want my kids, to have the mentality that they want to do better than I did for them. You get what I'm saying?
So yes, I've said it plenty of time in this podcast before, and our job as a father is to better ourselves so we can have a better future for our kids. It is our duty as parents, as a dad, to sacrifice ourselves so our kids can have a better future. Granted, some of us had a better upbringing than others, but regardless of whatever upbringing we had, our job as fathers is to enrich and plug in and pour in as much positivity as much as good that we can in our kids, so they can have a better future, so they can have a better life that we had. Because we don't want them to go through the same thing that we went through. We want them to do better.
Definitely, yeah. And I had the same thought process. Like I said before, I want my kids to know, say, okay, my parents did everything that they could for us, but I want to do better.
Of course.
Especially when they have their kids, I want to do better for my kids, for their kids. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. Before you became a dad, before you became a husband, you become a father, growing up and going to college and getting your education, all that stuff.
So before becoming a dad, did you have any idea what kind of dad you wanted to be? And if so, do you think you are that person now?
I really wasn't thinking about fatherhood like that, but if it did, if it did come to mind, I just wanted to be the best father I could be. I want to know that that I'm always going to try to do my best and give my all to make sure that these guys are living a good life.
Right.
And am I doing that now? Yes. I'm always looking to better myself. I'm always looking for the route, looking for, not I can say a route, but looking the way to go, make my situation and my family situation better.
Right.
I want these kids to have a good experience in life, and I want them, to be raised right.
Right.
Be able to choose the right path when they get older and make the right decision. Am I doing that now? Yes. But I don't feel it's enough. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I always feel like I always look to better myself, or challenge myself to do better, go above and beyond. Right. And right. That's a drive that I have in me, and that's a drive I'm going to continue to have in me until my kids, I could say, finish college and are living their life and happy, beginning, their journey.
Right. What do you enjoy most about being a father?
See my kids, interacting with my kids. I watching them grow up, seeing that, as they age, that they change.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I enjoy seeing that. All my kids are honor roll students.
Wow.
In school, all of them, and I'm talking about especially Malachi. Malachi, ever since he was in middle school, he's been an honor roll student from 6th grade, and now he's in the 8th grade. Same thing with London. Honestly, there's because I'm so busy with work and everything, I come home, I check his homework, and it's done to the T, perfect. You know what I'm saying? And the teacher praises him. Same thing with Kellen. Kellen's very, very responsible. She's an honor roll student as well too, and she's also a musician. You know, she plays an instrument and that thing too. She's like I said, a very responsible child.
Wow. Better than I am. I still can't even play anything. I'm not that good with an instrument at all. Awesome.
She actually plays the tuba, and the tuba, from what I'm told from a music teacher, is one of the least liked or the least liked instrument that these kids like playing. Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, she could get a scholarship for playing that tuba. So of course, I'm gonna encourage her to play that tuba. You know what I mean? You'll get that scholarship.
Oh wow, that's awesome! Yeah. Wow. What are three happiest moments in your life as a dad?
The three happiest moments is seeing all three of my kids get born. When it was, you go through 9 months and you wonder how the child's gonna be, what the child's gonna look like, and when they finally born and they come out, they're looking at you like, yo, why you took me out for? But when you see that, it's like when that happens, it's like for me, my life changes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a different feeling. Yeah, but those are the most memorable moments. Three memorable moments that when each of them was born.
Yeah, I can remember the day that my son was born. He was like a week overdue. And the day he came out was just like a flood of emotions.
Yes.
It was I did not know that I had that much emotions in me. I didn't know I had that much capacity to love so much. And the thing was, it was immediately. It wasn't like I had to grow to love him. It was just like it was immediate, an attraction. I was immediate love for my son. It was just like it was magnetic. I love it. And we spent the first day and a half to 2 days just him and I, because my wife had some complications. So it was just him and I for a good 2 days. And just like I had to hold him, I had to change him, I had to do everything. And that dynamic between him and I, even now, it seems a little bit more a daddy and son, where it's a little lighter, it's easier. Granted, he's still a mama's boy, but I think even just the relationship that I have with them, I think it's because the first two days of his life I was spending with him, that we have a closeness that I wouldn't give up for anything. I really would not give up for anything, because the way he approaches me, the way sometimes he just randomly just hug me, the way sometimes he can just like randomly just come and sit next to me and just sit there next to me. For me, it just gives me so much like love. It gives me so much feelings that I can't sometimes even express, because I don't even call him out sometimes. I don't say, Elias, come sit next to me. He would just come and just sit next to me, and I have to sometimes physically touch him. If I don't touch him, he will come and touch him. He will come and actually put his back on me, put his legs on me, or if I move at any point, he would move towards me. But that's the relationship that I have with him and I. We wake up we woke up in the same time. We wake up around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at the same time. If I wake up before him, I go to the room. He's probably would wake up. If he wakes up before me, usually right now he has a tendency of just coming into the room and just like sleeping on the bed. So we have that bond, we have that relationship, and I am like so at awe with that, because it's so genuine, it's so free, and it's so just freeing. And for me, I always loved that, and I still continue loving that. And he's only 2 years old, about to be 3, and I'm just at awe of his presence, and just in awe. I'm in awe of his presence. So the kid that he is, and who he becomes.
Yeah, you guys are building a strong bond. Wait until he gets older.
Yeah,
and then he starts understanding things, and and stuff like that. Watch the bond get even more stronger. And that's like I said, that's one thing I enjoy with my kids too. We all have a bond. We all have a bond. But especially me and the older one, Malachi. First, it's kind of like my father and I was.
Okay.
That's how me and Malachi are right now. He's the oldest, and like I said, I'm trying to teach him responsibility, and I'm also, I want him to put in his mind. I don't want him to, I'm not saying I want to put, things on his head, but when we're not around and you're the oldest, so you gotta act like that's how we grew up. When I'm oldest, you gotta be more responsible. You gotta make sure your younger ones are good, and you gotta make sure that they're doing the right thing. And I'm teaching him the same thing too. Even though Kellen is more responsible, Kellen's like it's like my mother, 100%. You get what I'm saying? But
she looks like your mom too.
Yeah. Everybody says that. But,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a brief commercial break. We'll be right back after this sponsor. Hey guys, Redemption Darius, aka BJ here from Dear Dad Podcast. Now, when I started this podcast, I wanted a platform where I can record and upload with my content very easily. I didn't want to go through any hoops to get my podcast out there. When I did start my podcast, I was on a different platform. But after I was introduced to Anchor not once, not twice, but over 3 times by my close friends, I decided to give Anchor a try. I must say, I absolutely love it. Not only is it easy to use, but I am able to record, edit, post, and publish all my episodes right there on the app or the site. I was able to transfer all my episodes onto Anchor in less than 5 minutes. That, for me, was unbelievable. Oh yeah, here's the best thing of all. It's free. It is free to use. Yeah, I know. That's crazy, but take my word on this. It's true. Using Anchor has definitely made podcasts so easy. Trust me, you'll love it. So, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right, so I pretty much have like 2 more questions for you, and then I'll just let you go.
All right, cool. No problem.
All right, so for the last question with you being a dad, just to wrap that part up, how do you want your kids to remember you?
I want my kids to remember that, my father was a caring and loving person. He tried his best to provide for us. I want them to look at me as their hero, per se. Like, that's my father's my hero. He's my all. You get what I'm? Yeah.
Cool, awesome, man, awesome, really cool. Thank you again. Just to wrap up. So as we're wrapping up, I just want to ask the last question for you, and then I'm just gonna do my closing. What message do you want to leave with the fathers and dads out there?
Oh, I just want to tell them, hey, listen, being a father could be, exciting. It could be, you could have ups and downs. It could be challenging, but just remember that you have children that's looking up to you, looking up to you for for guidance.
Right.
Looking up to you, to help them get through life and learn different things in life, and how to ride a bike, or how to tie my shoes. Daddy, I like this girl, and how should I approach him? Dad, I need some advice on this and that. Fatherhood can be challenging, but there's nothing in this world that would stop me from being a father to my kids. And I will say to them that I will you guys should do the same thing. Look forward to being the best dad you could be. Look forward to raising your kids to be extraordinary adults when they get older. Look forward to the challenges that is to come, because there's gonna be challenges. But most importantly, love your kids. Make sure the love is there for your kids. Being a father could be one of the most amazing experiences you can have in your life. Make that attempt to be a part of your child's life. Although it might seem scary, or you might think that you're too young to have a child, and you have a child and your life is over. Trust me, it's not. It's the beginning of a new life, and being a part of that kid's life, is very important for that child. As you know, I also coach an AAU team, and there's a lot of childs out there who don't have parents, and you see the difference in their upbringing. You see who's missing, that father figure in their life. Have a lot of anger, and you can see that roaming the streets, and you can see how important it is for them to have a father figure in their life. Make that attempt. Make that attempt. Even though you think it's going to be tough, like I said before, it's going to be a beautiful experience.
Oh, thank you, man. That's so awesome. That's really, really, really awesome, man. I'm gonna first and foremost just thank you, man. Thank you for coming to this podcast. Thank you for expressing to me about your dad, about you being a father and experience as fatherhood. I've definitely learned a lot about you, more than I feel like I've learned, as we grew up. I've learned more of who you are, even your character, how you carry yourself and how you talk. It's particular, and you choose your words wisely. And I've learned that just by listening to this podcast. Even as a kids, we just like, I'm running around, I'm joking around with you. I think as an adult, you change, and I'm pretty sure it's because of your situation, because of your marriage, because of your child, and just your maturity is electrifying. And I can honestly say I really, really enjoy this conversation with you. I really enjoy sitting down and actually hearing what you went through, and how you went through it and overcoming it and becoming this wonderful dad. You were one of the first few that had kids. I had kids after you guys, so I definitely use you guys, and you specifically, as examples. I've used my brothers, I've used my cousins, and definitely all of you guys. I've used you guys as an example. I've used you guys as a foundation of how to be a great dad. One thing I can honestly say is that this generation of all the cousins, some of the uncles, are doing a phenomenal job. We are intentional about being a dad. I can see that you are being intentional about being a father. You are intentional about being in your kids' lives, and you making such a big impact. And I want to congratulate you, and I want to applaud you for doing what you're doing, because you're doing a good job. I'm not the only one that's seeing it. There are other people that's seeing it too. I just know I'm writing down all the stuff that you're doing with your kids. I'm writing down how you are as a dad, because I'm still learning as a dad. I'm only 2 years in the game, about 3 years in the game as far as being a dad, but I still have a lot to learn. Now I'm going to the next phase of now him becoming independent child, that he's doing everything himself, and now we can move on, like you said. Wait until he's able to communicate with me, and I'm looking forward to that. But just now, just listening to you, just hearing you, just watching you from previously, you're doing a great job. You're doing a phenomenal job, and I applaud you.
Thank you.
Specifically right now. You're welcome. I specifically applaud you for being such an amazing dad. I know most of us, myself, didn't have that great example, but I'm happy that we're not using our negative thoughts, but we use our positive thoughts to actually do positive things in our kids' lives. Because again, our journey in life is to better ourselves so we can better our kids. We want them to have a better future than what we had. And you definitely are doing that. From traveling, exposing them to different cultures, you're doing that. So when they have their own kids, they start implementing that. And it was sort of a new trend, a positive trend and not a negative trend. And I'm so happy that you're able to come to this podcast.
Thank you.
To express that.
I appreciate that. Before I go, I'm gonna tell you a little joke about my kids, actually. So every time we go on vacation, I get excited. I speak to my wife about it. I search. I say, you know what? The kids gonna like this. It's gonna be a good experience for them. Let's do this. So what I would do is I go to YouTube, and on the YouTube I would do some research about the where we're going. So we like it's to the point that we like to surprise my kids. So let's give a typical example. They did not know that we was going to Mexico until the day of. When we reached the airport and we gave them the boarding pass and said we're going to Mexico. But they had an idea. Let me tell you why. Because I would search things, and I try to, when you put things in YouTube, and it will pop up when you go to go to the search bar, it will pop up. So one time I heard Malachi, told Kellen, I think in so-and-so, like I think in July we're going to Florida because I see her daddy's thing. And I said, what? He said, that's
You're playing smart.
Yeah. I said, what? He said, nothing, daddy. I said, okay. back my hand. I back my hand. Say, I got you. You think we're going to Florida, but we're not. You're going to Mexico. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. But it's fun. It's exciting. Being a father. That's another message. I like to get to the fathers out there. Being a father it's exciting. It could be challenging, but it's exciting. So, there's nothing I would not do to see the child smile. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The other day, we was talking in the group chat, and some guy said, they don't like going to Disney and everything. And I said, you're right. It's hot. It's long walks and blah blah blah. But there's nothing that won't cost to see the smiles on my kids' face and see them enjoying that trip. That right there is worth more than $1 trillion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Seeing the kids enjoying themselves, having fun, and they had that memory. You know what my father took me to, my parents took me to Disney. I remember this. We had fun. We had a blast. So, like I said, being a parent is exciting as well.
Man, this conversation is refreshing for me. It's definitely refreshing for me. I feel like I'm getting to know you all over again. So I'm really, really, like, I can honestly say I've really enjoyed this conversation. I'm really thankful that you came to the podcast to express all this. So in closing, I just want to tell you guys, again, thank you again for coming in here and supporting me in this podcast and coming again and again to support me. And like Martin said, be the best dad you can be to your kids. Honestly, be the best dad you can be. Don't try too hard where you're not able to do anything. Be the best that you can be. Do more than you are capable of doing, but also do it for the joy of the joy and the happiness of your kids. Because for me, and for Martin as well, that is the key for them to be happy, so they can start generating positive memories of you. When they start their own family, they're gonna think back and say, okay, my dad did this with me, and my dad went over here with me, my dad would travel the world with me, so I want to start doing this with my kids as well. We have to be intentional, and I said it before so many times. We have to be intentional of being a dad. We have to be intentional to be in our kids' life. Be intentional of participating and partaking in our kids' life. Going to the PTA meeting, have a conversation with them. Be intentional. Let them know that you're there. Don't just be a dad just in the house.
That's right.
Be intentional.
And you're so right. And let me tell you why. Real quick, I know we got to close. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing, things throwing, brainstorm my head as we go along, even though we're closing. But you're right, because there's been, I coach too. Like I said, I'm part of my kids' activities. My son plays basketball. Kellen is in the band. She's a musician. She also did cheerleading, the lacrosse, and I was involved in all that. No matter how busy I am out the day, I make sure that I make time to go and be a part of that activity or to go support them. I coach a basketball team, an AAU team. My son plays for my basketball team. You'll be shocked and surprised to see how many parents is not involved with the kids' activity. It was kind of heartbreaking, to be honest with you. Some of these kids are wandering the streets, coming home the next day 4:00 in the morning, and the parents don't know where they're at. And wow. I look at that, I was like, oh man. So even as being a coach, we try to be their role model, their parents, so they could go the right directions. And I have parents, actually single parents, actually come thank me and said that their kids are doing way better in school because of us, being the other coach. They see the light of the tunnel, and they're starting to change the life around. Became A+ students, trying to be the best student athlete they can be, and most importantly, helping them become, because it's a boys basketball team, helping them become men. I had parents text me and call me and tell me that, and that feels so great. And if I am being a role model for them, you can only imagine what I'm doing for my son or my kids.
Right. You never know what kind of influence you have on the kids that's around you. You never know. It might not even be your own. That's why I was like, be intentional with like everything that you do, because regardless if you do good or not, there's always somebody watching, and that's the motto that I know myself and my wife go by, my family go by. Way, but we've been intentional with everything that we do because we don't know who's watching. So if we don't know who's watching and everybody's watching, we might as well be on our best behavior and try to do our best, because we want to show and know that, you know, like, there is positivity out there. We're going to give positivities, because some people will retain more of the negative than the positive. So instead of giving somebody something to talk about, give them a positive stuff to talk about instead of just any negative. So again, guys, be intentional. It's just being in the kid's life can make a difference, but being active. And some of you guys are not dads yet, and some of you guys are dad role models. Some of you guys are father figures. I'm still talking to you guys. So be intentional in your guys' life. Be intentional with all that you do, and I encourage you to continue doing it. I applaud you, my cousin, my brother Martin. Like, I'm appreciative for you being here. I love you so much. I love what we're doing. I love who you are and what you continue doing, man. Like, I honestly believe that we will be and continue being the better version of ourselves as we continue this journey of fatherhood. Thrilled that you're able to take that offer for you to come and talk in this podcast. That I was telling my wife all about it. I was like, oh, guess who I got in this podcast? She was like, who? I was like, Mark. She was like, what? Because I've been talking to you for a while. I was like, I need to get Martin in there so I can like at least complete the whole sibling series.
Right.
So I know your part and everybody else. So it's really, really good that you came in here and able to like express that. But again, man, I'm thankful that you're able to come here and do what you did.
Thank you for inviting me. And I like to say that, you know, this podcast is very positive. You know, like I said, like you said, you don't know who's listening. You don't know whose life you're going to change with this podcast, because, you know, it could happen. You don't know who's watching. So keep doing what you're doing too, BJ. You know, like you said, you know, we're always challenging ourselves to do better. So keep doing what you're doing, man. I like that.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, guys. So I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. I'm not going to hold you longer at all. So I just want to thank you guys for coming back in the Dear Dad podcast. Stay tuned. Season 2 is really great. You have a good mini sibling series of my cousins. This is a good episode. This is a good series. So guys, stay tuned. Hold on. Continue to listen, guys. All right. So I'll catch you guys in a few. Bye.
Okay, let's take another brief commercial break. We'll be right back. For more Dear Dad podcasts, visit Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Make sure you check Dear Dad Podcast on your favorite Instagram social media platform at Dear Dad Podcast. Catch you later.